So hey guys, we welcome to the new video. So here what we are doing, we are learning the Java. So in the last class we learn how to take the input and how to print. So in this class we are learning about if else statement. Yeah. So what are the if else statement? Right now we are learning that thing. For that thing we are just doing one of the question over the code shift. So I am providing the question link over here, so you can just go it out and just find it out what is the question and try to submit it then. Okay, so before starting, just pause the video. If you know what is if else statement, just go over there and solve this question. Otherwise, let's learn what is if else and else if statement over here. Okay, so let's take what is if statement, right? What is if statement? If is like whatever is inside if, like अगर ऐसा है तो means अगर if के अंदर वाली स्टेटमेंट ट्रू है, if के अंदर वाली चीज inside the if whatever there it is, if it is true, so run the code which is inside the if. जो भी if के अंदर है वो वाला कोड रन कर दो. ओके, so we give the command if statement inside if is true, so run that code. Okay, so this is so simple, like you have to just run the code which is inside the if. Another thing, this is the first. Second thing is else if. What else if is whatever, like first it comes from the if that is run, it's okay. If that is true, it will run. Otherwise it will come to the next statement. Next statement is else if. Else if means if it is done, if it is not done, come to else if is true. So what if the command or statement inside else if is true, just print that, work that. Okay, like else if there is something, if that is true, so run that part. Otherwise comes to else. Third part is else. What is else? Else is like if is not working, else if is not working, so we will come to else. Whatever you want to run the code, it will come in the else. Okay, so there can be multiple else if inside a if. So how we are going to write the code, what is the statement inside this bracket, so we are going to learn that. So right now I'm just telling you the syntax, like if whatever the statement, then the main code whatever you want to run. Okay, then else if, then the statement, then whatever you want to run the code. Okay, if these two are not possible, then it will become to the else. Okay, so if that can be run, it can be run, otherwise it will come out of the loop. Okay, so this is the basic structure. So let's try to print it. Okay, let's try and come over here and try to print it. Okay, so let's read the question. Given that the integer, one of the integer is given, in the last lecture we already learned how to take the integer value. Okay, so we have to take the integer. If it is odd, so we have to keep it as weird. If it is even, we have to not weird. If it is even in the inclusive range, means it is even in 6 to 20, so we have to print weird. Otherwise we have to print not weird. Okay, so let's try to write it out. So first we have to take the input, right? So in the last class we already taught how to take an input. I just write it down that code. So let's take the number n equals to scn dot next int. We take the input inside this, right? Inside the n there is an input. Okay, so what we have to do if it is odd number? So what is if it is odd number, right? So if it is odd number, how to know it is odd? So we take a modulo 2. If it is not equal to 0, it is a odd number. So what modulo 2 does? So let's learn that. Let's learn it over here. So n modulo 2. Modulo means remainder. Modulo means remainder. Like whatever the number it is, whatever the number, if it is its modulo is divisible by 2 and leaves the remainder, it means it is the odd number, not the even number, right? So we just come over here, right? If it is not 0, if it is 0, it is a even, like, so we have to print system dot out dot println weird, right? weire. So if it is odd, it is written over here, like if it is odd, just print weird. If it is n is even, okay, else if, right, else if n is even, how we know n is even? N modulo 2 is equal to 0, because every number which is even can be divisible by 2, means remainder is always 0. Remainder is always 0, right? So we do else if n modulo 2, it will know for the even. It is an even or not, right? It will tell us this, if it is even or not. And another thing is, in the inclusive range of 2 to 5, if it is even, and if it is inclusive range of 2 to 5, just print not weird. It should be in the range of 2 to 5, right? So we have to print 2. So we put over here and means both the statements should be true. Like if it is even and also it is from the range 2 to 5, means 2 should be less than, oh sorry, n should be greater than or equal to 2, and then n should be less than equal to 5. Then we have to print, then we have to do some work, and that is not weird, right? After that, there is, if it is in the range of 6 to 20, then it is weird, right? And if it is even, and so else if, we just write else if it is even and it is in the range of, I just change the names over here, like it is 6 to 20, then we have to print it is weird, right? So just put this bracket over here, and yeah, I think it will be clear to you, right? After that, else, right, if all the statement do not run, अगर कोई भी statement नहीं चली, तो what we have to do? We have to, any number greater than 20, print not weird. So we have to print not weird, right? Let's try to compile and run the code. Let's see if it is run well or not, right? Then we will going to do a dry run over there, so you all get a great knowledge. Okay, yeah, so there is some error. Let's see what is the error. Next int, it is all correct. Scanner system.in, yeah, it is correct. Let's see. Okay, I haven't taken any input. I have to put some numbers over here. I haven't put, so that's why that the error is showing to me. Let's try to run over the test cases over the CodeChef. Yeah, it is running fine. It is giving the great output. So let's try to dry run over there. Okay. let me take the screenshot. Just give me a second. Let me take to there and just, yeah. So let's dry run over here. Okay, so code will start from here. Code will start from here. It will scanner, it will make the object and make the variable scn, which start taking the input from the scanner class. Here we, from the input, we store the value inside the n. We store the value inside the n. So n will contain that number. It will contain that number whichever the input. So here we are checking if that is that modulo is not equal to 0. Means let's take a number 3. If that is divisible by 2 and remainder is 1, that means it is even, right? Because remainder of any odd number is always 1, because that is not divisible by 2. Easy. So we will going to print weird. Okay, so for the 3 it will just print weird. Okay, let's take for the example for the n equals to 4. If we put the input 4, so is it even? No, it will not come here. It will see if n modulo 2 is 0. Yes. 4 modulo 2 is equal to 0. Yes, it is true. Then n is greater than 2. Yes, n is greater than 2. Is n is less than 5? Yes, n is less than 5. So all the statement is true, means this is true. So it will run in this case and it will comes to the end. After that n is equal, let's put n is equal to 8. Okay. First statement, is it odd? No, it will not run. Okay. Second statement, is it odd? Is it even? Yes, it is even. It is greater than 2? Yes, it is greater than 2. But is it less than 5? No. So that's why this statement do not run. So all the statement is true. Here n is less than 20. Yes, it is 8. So it will print weird. Okay. Let's take another example like n is equals to 30. Let's take a 30. Is it odd? No, it is not odd. So it will not run. It is less than 5. No, it is not less than 5. It will not run. Is it less than 20? No, it is not less. If it is any of the number, like else statement is any of the number, that's why we do not put any condition over here. So if it is any of the number, just print not weird. Okay, so that's the lesson, guys, for the if else statement. Afterwards we are learning for loop, functions and all of that stuff in the coming videos. Thank you friends for watching. Please subscribe.